People order COVID supplies, masks, equipments, medicines, but they don't arrive. Here we see on the internet, people are complaining everywhere. Why do these websites exist? Tonight, Radio 419 will reveal, just as the black dollar websites were all taken down just hours after the screening of our last movie. In this COVID-19 movie, we see what happens to the Mugus when they pay money. They just get extorted for more and more money, for transport fees, for customs, for all sorts of fees as they wait for their COVID supplies that never arrive. For those who wonder why people fall for such scams, as you'll see tonight, some of the scammers are very advanced and very cunning. We see the locations of the servers from where these scam sites are being hosted. Yes, here we see the actual website used in the scam, very similar to the websites used for the black dollar scams. As you can see, they're very professionally made, and the English is very good. Very few spelling mistakes in these sites, and they offer a very wide range of COVID problems with all the things. Here we see we have a WhatsApp number and we have a phone number. These details are provided in the video details below should betas wish to call these scammers that are really wreaking havoc on the world. Here we can see if we take one of the scammer's email addresses from the WHOIS information and we just Google him, we find masses of 419 sites. Even though it's not COVID, there are all sorts of scams, and then so you can see just by searching in Google you can see what big scammers these people are. It's not exactly difficult to expose them or to find their webs of websites, sometimes massing in literally the thousands. They're building websites today to use for scams in 5 years' time. Some of these scams are very successful because they're not just new COVID sites that are being used. As we will show you, some of the sites were built years ago, often for other purposes, and then repurposed just for COVID. So that sometimes people would go to a website and believe, it's a business that's been working for 10 years. And again, they would be suckered into becoming a Mugu and transferring their money across the world. Yes, there we see Plus Surgical, phone number in Thailand, address in Thailand, but there are no COVID websites being broadcasted from Thai servers. As we see this week, there were many black dollar websites being broadcast from the United Kingdom, but the British authorities quickly closed those websites down and will have no more of that 419 nonsense. Here, as we see these COVID supplies, although it's claiming to be in Thailand, we know that the servers that are broadcasting these scams are in the United States of America, Canada, Singapore, and South Africa, as the evidence that we show you tonight provides. People that do not like scammers should pressurize these American, Canadian, South African, and Singaporean companies to stop hosting 419 scams. When the hosting of the 419 scam stops, the 419 will too. It's quite mind-boggling how governments have allowed these sites to exist for months and months on end, scamming continually without just simply taking the site down. It's very easy to take sites down, as we will show you, because if hosting companies do not take down these sites, it shows that they are fully complacent in the 419 global syndicate of scamming. And what's more, do not visit these COVID sites yourself. They are very dangerous. If you visit them, there's a strong chance that you will get infected with keyloggers and malware. A lot of these keyloggers and malware that come from the COVID websites have been loaded. In case you don't fall Mugu to the COVID scam, maybe your computer will be hijacked and there will be a telephone number for you to call, and you will get through to an Indian call center thanks to a big deal that has been struck between Anamco 419 and the Hyderabad Cyber Criminals Association, whereby they are now sharing the Mugus, which means if the Mugu doesn't get chopped one way, his computer will be hacked, and then the games of Siski will begin. So, here we have more of these evil websites that are promising people urgent supplies to prevent the spread of a deadly COVID-19, and the COVID-19 becoming now COVID-419. So let's have it as COVID-419 tonight. You see, they're even selling all sorts of anxiety medicines. This is advanced free fraud. Remember, you will not receive the tablets. This is the section where they restrict your masks, where they promise medications and help, but you do not receive it. They just take your money. And in future broadcasts by Radio 419, we will show how they actually try to murder and execute you in the higher stages of 419. As if it's not bad enough being scammed and being a Mugu, then having your computer virus bombed, the keyloggers stealing your passwords to your accounts so your bank accounts can be further milked. And then, in order to fix your computer from all the Mugu nightmares that have happened, you will get through to an Indian call center that will attempt to get the final few dollars from you after you've lost the big dollars to an Amco in this pyramid of Mugu hunting. Yes, you can see these websites go on and on and on. Here in America, America is guilty of not only hosting COVID-419 scams, but also having COVID-419 scammers on the ground with US numbers to call, free phone numbers to call, and WhatsApp numbers to call. This American 419 gang takes your money in any format you may have it, not only the Western Unions and the MoneyGrams. They'll also take it bank to bank because they've got dodgy bank accounts. They'll even take it by Bitcoin. Just getting your money, that's all that these gangs do. However, these gangs are being seriously disturbed by Radio 419 because Radio 419 is not a prank caller. Radio 419 closes down scam operations as you sleep. Here we see again how the scammers have been very intelligent with their use of graphics, even showing pictures of Mugus that they've chopped in the past perhaps, and using the pictures of their old mugus to make more scams. And here we see again, we see their telephone numbers and their details. If there are any betas brave enough to call one of Eboka's boys, the telephone number is provided. But remember, Eboka is already very angry in his mansion in Upper Ewika Road, Onitsha, especially as Pricky has been annoying and disturbing the mental health of many of his boys in the COVID season. Here we see again the WHOIS maps revealing the nations that are complacent in broadcasting these COVID scams again. We see again countries like America, Canada, Singapore, and South Africa broadcasting 419 scams to the planet. As soon as these hosting companies become more honest and more ethical about removing these sites promptly, when there are so many victims to scams that have been done using these sites. So, here we have another one. You see, Beckton. Again, here it's an old site from old scams. And it's very subtle because it's a plastics company. And you just see initially plastics products. But as you look down, you see this long-running scam site that has already chopped so many mugus is selling the masks. Yes, the protective masks. But people who have bought these masks have just been extorted and extorted and extorted. Again, we provide full details. You can see where the scammers in Eboka's global enterprise are based. You can also see the countries being used to host and broadcast these COVID 419 scams. At the moment, we see the largest offender is the United States of America. Number one, 419 nation. Number two, we see is South Africa. Very guilty during the COVID period for broadcasting COVID scams quite blatantly. Not only from South African servers, but with scammers on the ground in South Africa, hunting mugu money from poor, desperate nations looking for COVID supplies. And then we have Canada. Canada is the third largest broadcaster of 419 nonsense in the world due to their, well, they have the Mounties there riding on horseback. I don't know what good the Canadian Mounties are at stopping cyber crime. I mean, look, well, we don't want to be shaming them now. Let's see, what do we have here? Trainee, again, a very old trading company that has done masses of 419 scams, bouncing from server to server, owner to owner, and being repurposed again to exploit the COVID-19 era. Very professional, very well written, well scripted. And people, again, remember, be careful visiting these sites, because if you're not visiting them on your VMware in a protective environment, then you will get infected with all sorts of viruses, keyloggers and things, and the number on the screen will flash up. Yes, those are the numbers that you see people like Karen Scam Beta calling and harassing. Yes, also Jim Browning tries to get into the shops of those low-level 419 boys. So here again, you can see where these people are hosting these wicked websites. Yes, and it's the people that are hosting these wicked websites that are more often disturbed not by the prank callers, but professional scam baiters like Pricky, who actually makes the people believe that he is a real victim in order to string them on longer, instead of announcing that they are a fake victim very early, thereby breaking the communication too fast so that detailed information cannot be obtained as to the actual whereabouts of the scammer, which is very important. If we can get hold of their email addresses, their IP addresses, their Skype addresses, then it's very easy to pinpoint their homes. Yes, sorry, Eboka up there. Yes, very nice area, that Upper Awake Road. Yes, I can see you there, and I'm sure you're watching Radio 419. Yes, your boys told you I took down your black dollar wash scam sites, all of them gone, and now you see your COVID sites. Yes, that your boys in Cameroon have been building, your boys in South Africa, even one of your last boys in Bangkok. Yes, your boys in Berlin. Yes, your boys in the Netherlands. Your boys in Canada and America. Yes. Wow. Those countries might not be able to see you, Eboka, but Radio 419 is watching you. Yes, we're watching you very, very carefully. Yes, we're preparing that if COVID-19 elimination doesn't teach you a lesson, well then wait till the next episode of Radio 419. Yes, we're going to eliminate another branch of your syndicate. Yes, globally eradicated in 48 hours. A scammer's biggest nightmare is coming. We see your gang. We see all of you. We see all your websites. We see all your servers. We see all your boys. And now we see you too, Eboka. You cannot hide anymore, as my videos show. You are in the open. Yes. My targets are sighted on you. We are moving in for the kill. Your weapons will not protect you from law enforcement. Here we have more of your wickedness, showing your global reach around this planet. How your greed means that one Mugu is not good enough for you. A nation of Mugus is not good enough for you, Eboka. You are so greedy, you want Planet 419 all for yourself. So greedy that you're just throwing the small Mugus to those Indian call centers and those little Liberian boys on the streets, while you chop all the biggest Mugus, the governments, the corporates, the blue chips, you eat them all, Eboka, and you think we don't see you? Aha. Mm-hmm. You see, we have here another one. Another one of your wickedness from South Africa, as I said, South Africa. One of the most wicked 419 Nation branches of Anamco when it comes to COVID 419 scamming. You see scam after scam revealed one by one. You see these websites are live on the 10th of October. And by the 15th of October, they will have all disappeared. They will have died. And your boys will have been arrested one by one as they are picked up. Because the IP addresses of all of those emails were sent to Pricky. So, Eboka is all coming to an end now. I recommend that you try to find a new and more honest business than doing all this 419 nonsense. Yes. Again, the locations of your servers are being revealed, along with the people registering the websites, the people hosting them, the countries hosting them, as we see again. And like the last time when we revealed the black dollar scam, yes, Eboka, you had your boys try to attack me via filing complaints with YouTube, accusing my scam baiting of being scamming. And what happened? It backfired. And now that we finished with your black dollar sites, as you can see, this is all your top money making COVID sites, about to disappear before your very eyes. Yes. And as you can see, we have been doing our homework. This is the selection of your sites that ate the biggest mugus. Yes. And don't forget, Radio 419 is not like the FBI. When the United States government lost money to the COVID scam, they simply went to just, what was that, your Dubai branch? And they picked up that little boy, Hush Puppy. I mean, Hush Puppy had over 2 million followers on Instagram. I mean, he wasn't exactly hard to find, was he? Yes. Yes, look. This is your African branch in Mali doing the COVID scams. You're even scamming all your African brothers with all these fake websites selling non-existent products. Well, they're all going to be closed down too. And I guarantee, in 48 hours, you won't be able to visit any of these sites anymore. Yes, they will be all closed down. Eboka, and people have had enough of this. Tonight, everybody's waiting to see the arrest of another one of your boys that was caught red-handed. He just imported 2 boys, fresh for an AMCO, being trained, setting up a factory, building hundreds and hundreds of these websites. Ah, dear. Well, Eboka, I'm going to come knocking on your door, and you will see me, and you know what I will say to you. Yes? You lie, you die. So once more, I really do think we're getting bored of all these websites. I think the viewers get the idea. They see the type of scams that are going on. Yeah, just one more before we start the movie tonight, and yes, show the first of your boys. Eboka, yes, we bring them face to face with the Mugu. Yes. Yes, you see this? There's your latex glove scams. Yes, how many people have you scammed with that? Well, I tell you, you can have one last look at your website, because it's going to be gone soon. There'll be the last chance for the betas, yes, to call these numbers. Have a look. This is in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is another hotbed of COVID scamming. Yes. Wakey wakey, Dutch police. It's time to stop having scams broadcasted around the world. It's not nice. Other countries are stopping 419. Your country should stop 419 too. Yes, the number of 419 facilitating nations on this planet is getting smaller and smaller. Aha! What is this? Thai border. Where we're watching very, very carefully. Yes, we never know when one of your Frank Lampards might sneak over the border. Yes, bringing a crew of people. Yes, sometimes using Thai women, sometimes using English teachers. English people, Australian people, boys and girls. Also Filipino Englishes. Yeah, Cameroonian teachers. Yes, all being hired to drugs across the board. Very dangerous job. Well, it's to get them to do when they're stupid to be helping the 419 operations. And as you see, we're catching very carefully. And maybe in next week's video after, we'll see what we catch at the moment. Because wherever there are criminals amongst the people. Depends who intelligent enough spot who they are. There are even hunters who hunting since crossing border. Little do they. Radio 419 is waiting for them. I know. There are some 419 gangs that are stubborn. They need to see fire. Because if they don't see fire, they won't learn to see the wickedness that they are doing. You see, we are moving, yes, down there on Umvit. Yes, we're watching, yes, watching the travel agency where the tickets are being bought for the people trapped drugs. Not so hard to follow if you try. And it's not so hard to pull up either. Here we see all the way from Praga. It looks a big city for boys. Maybe because it is small. Very small. That makes it easy for us to monitor and check out where it may be. Here we're following one of your 19 boy that's building the sites that we talk of. Yes, tried from us in his green.
ไม่ใช่มันก็วัดไปเลยนะดุ้ง
So where are you from?
Nigeria.
And how did you get here?
Getting it through the embassy.
And who brought you here?
Buddy.
Huh? Who brought you here?
I came here myself.
Then you get a reduction in sentence, you know? Or maybe if you pay bail, you can go free while the case is going. But if you don't admit and you're guilty, then you get the full sentence.
I explained everything to you. There is nothing I write to you. So that is why I try to dialogue. But this is not what is supposed to happen. This one is good now. You know what this one is. So I'm talking with you.
Do you accept or not accept?
Let him put this in off.
So Eboka, here you can see, there's your Bangkok boy pointing at all the evidence, and there we have the Thai Mugu. The Thai Mugu pointing at the Mugu hunter, showing everybody your boy that chopped her hard. Yes, she lost a lot of money. She wasn't expecting to get her money back either, until Radio 419 went to close down this Bangkok operation. And now your other operations all over the world are about to be closed as Radio 419 spreads its cyber tentacles into every Anamco branch. Yes, Radio 419 is not some fool like the FBI running after a little hush puppy. No, Eboka, we can see you. Upper Awake Road in Onitsha? Yes, you can run, but you cannot hide from Radio 419. If you don't believe me, I'm already watching your latest boy. I am logging their activity, the way you log the activity of your Mugus. So, until next week, ladies and gentlemen, we shall see.